Hello, this is Angie with the Country Chic Cottage, and with me today is Carolina with 30minutecrafts.com. And we are here today with craftyhangouts.com, and we are using ribbon from the Ribbon Retreat as part of a Patriotic Hangout on Air series that we're doing all week long at craftyhangouts.com. Each of our bloggers is going to make something patriotic with some of these great ribbons that the Ribbon Retreat was kind enough to send us. So, Carolina, what are you going to make for us today?
I'm going to make these cute little pinwheels out of ribbon. They're like ridiculously small. You don't want to go any smaller than 1 inch ribbon on these. But I'm going to use them as little cupcake toppers because you can just go buy some store-bought cupcakes, throw some sprinkles on there, put the little cupcake toppers in, and bring them to a 4th of July barbecue with cute little pinwheel toppers.
I am going to do a party favor, and it's actually a couple of Rolos stuck together, and it is made to look like a little firecracker with ribbon. So they would be fun to put out at your 4th of July party for your guests. So we like to craft in 10 minutes or less live, just so you can see that we can actually do this quickly. So I have about 4 minutes till the hour, and we'll get started.
I'm going to start by trimming my ribbon into a little square. And then I actually found, Angie, this is grosgrain ribbon, and I
Mhm.
found the coolest way to seal the edges
Oh, I need
if
to know
my
this
extension
trick.
cord is long enough. Um, my extension cord is barely reaching over here, but I'm just using a little bit of hot glue and I'm just barely getting the hot glue and just tuck the edge and just sealing my little edge that way.
Ah, smart.
Well, and the great thing about hot glue is it cools super fast, especially a little tiny little thread like this. Um, so I can just keep on crafting. I don't have to wait for it to dry before I keep going.
And I'm going to use tacky dots from Elaine's, and I'm using two tacky dots to put two Rolos together. And so the big ends are up and down and the little ends in the middle. And I can't use hot glue or my Rolos would melt, so that's why.
Yep, good thinking. Some people don't think about that, and then you give them as gifts, and then the kids who open them up go, "Oh, like my chocolate's all gross." Just like that too. Oh.
Exactly like that.
I've cut into my little ribbon square about 2/3 of the way towards the middle. You don't have to be super exact on it. On all 4 sides. Hopefully you can kind of see that on all 4 sides. And then I'm going to take each of these corners. I'm going to go one corner and then the next corner all the way around to tuck them in like a pinwheel. And I'll use hot glue again. And I'm going to use the head of a pin, dip it in the hot glue, and put it down to make this happen. So hopefully I can do this so that the camera can see it. We'll try. What are you up to, Angie?
I am using a length of really thin ribbon from Ribbon Retreat, and I made a double knot right in the center. And then if you fold this, it looks like the wick of a firecracker. And then I'm going to put that in the middle of my top Rolo, I guess, just with another glue dot. And if y'all don't know, it's important not to touch glue dots because they kind of lose their sticky. So take your Rolo and actually stick your glue dot to it like that instead of picking the glue dot up.
That is a great tip.
Yeah. And I'm going to use this
And
wider
they are
ribbon, and
super
it's
easy to
actually
cut.
the exact same ribbon that you're using, so we're coordinated today.
Is yours wired?
Mine is not. It's just a wide. I said
Okay.
wide, sorry. It's a
Oh,
southern
wider.
accent.
Okay. Yeah, never can get past y'all's southern accent. So I've tucked in all my little corners. Hopefully you can see that to make my little pinwheel. And then I've got all kinds of different um, little rhinestones or gemstones. And just with a touch of hot glue, I can touch that to my pinwheel.
And so for this portion, I'm using a tacky dot on a roll. I'm sorry, a tacky line roll. And so it's a line of dry adhesive, and I just cut it to about the width of my ribbon. And then again, so I don't want to touch it, so I'm just going to stick it to the ribbon with the backing and then peel the backing off. Stick it to the Rolo firecracker, roll it around, trim the ribbon to length, and use another piece of that line roll on the other side to secure it.
I'm putting my little pinwheels on toothpicks, and I found that the easiest way to do this was to add a little glue, and of course it's not looking easy right now. There we go. Add a little glue to the point of my toothpick and then let it cool a little bit, because this is actually really funny. When I took the hot glue on the toothpick and stuck it right to the back of my pinwheel, the heat actually released the glue that was in the middle and my pinwheel popped apart. So I have to let it cool just a little bit before I put it to the back. It's one of those, tips from the experienced crafters, right?
That's what you learn when you're making your prototype.
Yeah, I made a couple of them because they're small. This is 1 inch ribbon. So this is um from here to here, a little 1 inch pinwheel. If I had a ruler here, I'd prove it, but I cleaned up my sewing room this weekend, and so I don't have a ruler hanging out like I normally do.
And I
So that
bet you
only
were
took me about
done.
5 minutes. I
I
am.
know.
I actually have some pieces that I cut just in case it took me a little longer that already have the glue sealed edges, so I can always make another one, a nice bigger one.
Well, I made 2 firecrackers in that amount of time. And I was just going to mention as well that I will have this printable on my blog, and it says, "Hope you have a blast at our party." So I thought if we cut this printable out, and I just printed it on white cardstock, and you can cut it out prettier than this, but I'm just going to cut. And then I'm going to use,
Live crafting is not the time for neatness and tidiness.
yeah, and I'm just going to use some more of these dry adhesive line. And I'm going to stick it to I can't get this to come off. There we go. I'm going to stick it to a skewer like you would use for barbecuing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could put this in a mason jar and fill your mason jar up with your little Rolo firecrackers. And everyone can grab one when they're coming in.
Cute. All right, if you give me 1 second, I'll have this other pinwheel done. Okay, maybe more than 1 second, but barely more than 1 second. There we go.
So if you follow along at Crafty Hangouts a week, I would be willing to bet that with one purchase from Ribbon Retreat, you could have a very coordinated 4th of July party with all the crafts that you're going to see from all of our bloggers. So just today we had party favors and cupcake toppers, and I'm sure the other bloggers will come up with something equally amazing for your 4th of July party.
Yep, all kinds of awesome 4th of July ribbon crafts on craftyhangouts.com all week long. So hopefully you'll hop on over and join us and see what the other bloggers have in store. And you can head over to Ribbon Retreat, who gave us all this awesome stuff, and tell them that we sent you for awesome, fun, patriotic ribbon.
All right, and thank you for joining us today. And again, stay tuned to craftyhangouts.com all week. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.